Hey, travel creators, welcome back to another episode of the Travel Creator Podcast. I am Laura, and I'm a content developer for travel creators, and I support them mainly through writing, whether they want to hire me for blog writing or newsletter support or even repurposing their content. I'm that person. Today, though, we are getting into the big scary word of content creation everyone talks about, but no one really talks about, and that word is consistency. As you have probably already gathered, digital marketing is such a pain in the ass, especially if you love to reap short-term rewards. So yes, it feels great when a post does well or a reel does well or something like that. But what we really want out of social media is not just a one-hit wonder. We want you to be the go-to person for the thing that you do or the thing that you create about. And that comes from consistency. And being consistent is freaking hard. I don't need to tell you this information, and it's even harder if you're a nomad and if you're being reactive with your to-dos, which I know many of you are. What do I mean by being reactive? I mean, you can start your day set out with a to-do list, and then during the day, obviously, you're going to get messages, you might get emails, you might get phone calls, and you are reacting to those, meaning, oh, okay, someone just emailed you, and they're like, hey, Laura, can you do this thing? And I'm like, yeah, I'll just do it real quick. Basically, we are derailing our entire day to do that one task that was not on our to-do list anyway, because we feel like that's what we should be doing because it's making a little bit of progress, but it's really not. It's actually causing you great distraction. And I also learned recently, and I will, you know what? I will make another episode about this, about distraction, because right now I'm being distracted talking to you about distraction in an episode that is not about distraction, but I learned that switching between tasks, if you're doing, let's say I'm writing a blog post, and then I kind of switch to start writing a caption. I'm like, oh, cool, this could be in the caption. That is literally ruining your brain. Science tells us so. And I will not say anything else until I do more research to put it in another episode for you, because I don't want to misspeak on behalf of science. That would be bad. Anyway, content creation is difficult. Being a consistent content creator is even harder. And being a consistent content creator who never is in one place is the hardest thing ever. So let's just take a second to give ourselves some grace here. You are doing a good job, okay? You probably haven't told yourself that in a minute. Maybe nobody else has told you that in a minute as well. But you are. Think about what you're doing right now. It's not easy. It's not easy to do what you're doing, yet you're freaking crushing it. Because consistency is so difficult, and every single marketer on the internet will tell you that in order to grow online, you need to be consistent. And I agree, but I don't think you need to be consistent to the degree in which they are telling you need to be consistent. I come across a lot of advice that is posting 7 days a week, sometimes even posting multiple reels a day. That's a little psychotic. I'm not going to lie to you. Do not do this. That is unnecessary. It is just going to burn you right out immediately. And then you're not even going to want to come back and do the content creation thing because you're a content creator because you like to create. So let's not freaking ruin that for ourselves. So here are some tips on how to be more consistent without hating what you do. My first tip is batching your content. You probably already know what this means, but if you don't, batching is when you would sit down, maybe you choose a day of the week, and you're going to create content for that entire week or that entire month or that entire whatever you want it to be. Basically, it stops you from, Wednesday rolling around and you're like, shoot, I need to post something. You've already gotten that post ready to go. It's already happening in the background, which is a fabulous feeling because then sometimes you go on your Instagram and you're like, oh, fun. I scheduled that. That's fun. That batching is a great tool. And I promise sitting down to do all of your week's worth or even month's worth of content in one time is faster. It takes a long time, but I promise it is faster than crafting a post every single time you want to share. Another way to be consistent is to add in a behind the scenes day of content, okay? Behind the scenes content always does well because we're nosy as hell and we like to see what other people are doing and be reminded that they are human too. It's my favorite piece of content to create and to consume. It's just so fun, and it makes me feel like I know the people I'm following. We have these parasocial relationships with people, and I feel like I know them because of their behind-the-scenes content. So in order to stay consistent in posting, I would encourage you to incorporate a behind the scenes content day into your content calendar. So maybe it's Friday, maybe it's whatever day, pick a day. And maybe you're going to share about what your workspace looks like. Maybe you're going to share about what you've been listening to, what you've been up to, what you've been reading, all of the stuff that you would kind of tell a friend. Like, let's say you called a friend that you hadn't been talking to in a while. What would you tell them? Obviously, we don't need to know about, like, your latest blood test. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Hope you're okay, though. But things that you would maybe, tell a friend that you haven't talked to in a while, but aren't super, super deep. You can get as deep as you want, but I'm just telling you there's no need to tell us all the things. Another simple way to stay consistent is to use templates. Whether that's a caption template. Maybe you consistently share about one destination per week or per month. And to make that so much easier, you want to create a caption template for yourself. So you can come back to and plug in the necessary information, but 90% of it is already done. That's going to speed this the heck up and make it so much easier. You can also use, I love story templates for Instagram stories. Those are so much fun. They're easy to create. Maybe you want to incorporate a story template with your behind the scenes content. Or maybe you create a cute little template for your behind the scenes sort of feed post about what you've been up to. Love that. But I would say lean on templates. Canva is there for a reason, and it saves you so much time in creating from scratch if you can just plug and play. Also, this is a big one here. I need you to focus on quality over quantity. It is so much better to post fewer high quality pieces consistently than to overwhelm yourself with daily posts that you're like not feeling super jazzed about. I promise that you will feel much more pleased with yourself if you post less but are more proud of what you're sharing than just posting to post because you feel like that's what people on the internet tell you you have to do in order to grow, which is not true. My last tip for you is to freaking repurpose your content. Okay, you already have amazing content and you already have good ideas that you've shared before and that your audience has reacted well to. Use those ideas again and see how we can repackage those or reformat those into another piece of content to get the same idea across but presented in a different way to your audience. Repurposing is one of the easiest things you can do to be consistent in your content. And I promise once you get it down to a system, it's not that hard. And if you're looking for a system, I have one for you. And if you want more information on my DIY content repurposing course, which is coming out very soon, there will be a link in the show notes for you to sign up. You'll be the first to hear about when it's going to drop. I want to know on Instagram at Travel Content Writing what you do to stay consistent. Do you work on your content always at the same time? How does that happen for you? Also, I just thought of one more tip for you. Figure out when you do your best work. So, for example, I can't record a podcast episode or write a script or any of that stuff in the afternoon. It can't happen for me. I can do all of the writing and everything has to be done in the morning. That's when I work best on those big projects. So figure out when you work best and then fit your content creation into those times when you are at your max brain capacity. And I promise showing up will be so much easier. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know on Instagram all your thoughts, what you think. I love hearing from you. Seriously. Thank you for listening. Happy creating, and I'll see you next week.